Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
Hello everyone and welcome to the fount of wisdom that is simplified. We put the dumb in wisdom. I am Chuck and I provide the poor jokes on this podcast. My two venerable co-hosts provide all the actual information.
Hi, I'm Sriket and my claim to fame is that most Indian cricketer name pronunciations on Wikipedia are mine.
And our co-host, of course, is Naren. Say hi, Naren.
Looks
Naren's
like
actually not here.
Yeah, he's conspicuously missing, and I think the reason can be very clear, Chuck. From what if our dear listeners can remember from the previous episode, it was his resolution to not put up with your PJs. So here we are.
It's amazing
Good
that
work,
you
Chuck.
remember that.
Good work.
Yeah, good work. So Naren's not going to be joining us for this episode, but that's okay. It's our first Naren less simplified, if you think about it.
Actually, if I remember correctly, you did one with our erstwhile producer.
It's a second. Yeah,
yes.
It's a second. It's amazing that you remember more about.
No, I remember the worst
Naren.
episodes of Simplified, and I kind of remember that.
Thanks. Okay, so moving on very quickly. So it's going to be Sriket and I who are going to take you through this fascinating episode. Now that we have established that none of us actually have any knowledge as such, let's get on with the episode. For those who have never been subjected to Simplified before and downloaded the podcast in hopes of getting smarter,
don't worry, Naren will be back soon.
Well, I have good news. I have good news for you now.
We make people smarter now, Chuck. I mean, where was that mentioned in the terms and conditions?
Let's just say that after experiencing us, they'll become smarter.
A little like the whole of America will become a little smarter in 4 years' time.
Correct. What we do on our podcast, which is 49 episodes strong now.
Wow.
Yeah. Who would have thought it would get this far? Long back when I exchanged an innocuous SMS with Naren asking him if he would like to collaborate on a project that would change the world. He probably thought I wanted to set up a teleportation company, but oh no. 40 minutes a fortnight of absolute drivel will have to do. So, what we do on our podcast is tell you about things that happen around us, topical at times, interjected with our worldly observations and humor.
We start off this week with the profundity of the week, a section that we haven't done since Donald Trump became president.
And if you think about it, that itself is a giant profundity. So for this, what we normally do is call through WhatsApp in search of a forward that made us put our phones down and applaud. Not necessarily in appreciation, though. The slow clap variety is what I'm talking about. Family groups are a rich source of this. In fact, you could say that family WhatsApp groups are to the profundity of the week what oil is to Saudi Arabia.
Yes, except the profundity of the week recognizes that women exist and don't have a dodgy human rights record.
So what happened is Sriket, what happened is I actually accidentally erased all the media files from my WhatsApp folder in a bit to save space and actually the RAM from self-immolating. So I don't have any good forwards with me actually. So this week we are giving you your first profundity of the week. It's a great honor.
I'm truly honored by this honor that has been bestowed upon me.
Yeah,
but yes, I too am part of a very glorious family WhatsApp group, and I am. Despite my Gujarati roots, still a South Indian, and mathematics is highly treasured in my family. So much so that it even percolates through in our WhatsApp forwards. And from therein comes our...
you are what your forwards are. Yeah.
Indeed, Chuck, indeed.
Don't judge a person by his WhatsApp family group forwards.
We are already one host down. Please don't make me walk out.
Sorry.
Anyway, so the profundity of the week this time of the mathematical nature goes hence. Best line said by a mathematician. My love for my family and friends is like a circle. It has no sides to be broken, no ends to be ended, and no angles to be measured. Good morning.
And a big fat zero if you think about it actually. There are so many things that could be read into that.
Yeah, I mean, this again being a limitation of the audio medium, there is a very poignant picture of a bunch of people sitting together in a circle, very, very happy with themselves. Although they genuinely look to be going nowhere. So, as is norm with the profundity of the week, this is truly profound and thoroughly meaningless.
Okay. What we're going to talk about this week is the massive world extravaganza everybody looks forward to. It needlessly gets bigger every year, drawing in more people from around the world. More companies start to participate. The eyes of the world are upon it. Lots of social media jokes are made about it.
I thought the IPL was still 3 months away, Chuck.
Sriketi, ignorant little buffoon. I am talking about the CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. Has the world needed another reason to descend onto Las Vegas and create a ruckus and disturb the peace and quiet-loving residents? This week we are going to simplify for you the annual extravaganza of technology circle jerking and compendium of useless products, as well as showcase of some products you'll probably need to sell your home in order to buy. The CES.
Of course. The CES, for those of you who may not know, who may not share Chuck's propensity for obscure technological events.
Obscure?
Is an annual event.
That's like calling Shah Rukh Khan an obscure actor.
Yeah, I mean, it's true for Chuck. I think for you, Shah Rukh Khan is an obscure actor.
I've seen one movie of his.
I mean, we sometimes have to do a simplified episode on the total number of Hindi movies you have seen, right? There is a beautiful.
Isn't there like a minimum time that we need to record for this to make it to? Okay.
Again, sorry. So coming back to the entire angle of what the CES is. The CES is an annual event held in Las Vegas where all sorts of technology companies come together and showcase to the world what new products they've been working on every year.
Correct.
It's their chance to dazzle the world with their brilliant ideas, the most brilliant of which is their incredible transformation of the human mind, making it believe that it did need a dustbin that was connected to the internet.
Absolutely. There are some things that you didn't know you wanted till you see them for the very first time. Like Steve Jobs once famously said. Or something like that. What he said was the consumer doesn't know what he wants till he actually sees it.
I think it was Henry Ford who said that if the guy who made the first motor car said that if I had asked my consumer what they wanted, they would have said they wanted faster horses.
Correct. So while this logic worked well for the better half of the 20th century, I'm not quite sure whether everybody needs a internet connected toothbrush, for instance. But
then here we are in the day where everything needs to be connected to Bluetooth and the internet because of fact that you need endless amounts of useless information for which the internet already exists, and yet here we are with internet connected toothbrushes and simplified in your ears.
So this whole thing reminds me of this George Carlin quote when he was taking apart the 10 Commandments. I don't know if you've heard, if you've seen it.
Yeah, it's a brilliant section.
So it says, he's roasting each of the commandments, and he says, one of them, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. And his take on that was, this one is just plain stupid. Coveting your neighbor's goods is what keeps the economy going. Your neighbor gets a vibrator that plays, "Oh come all ye faithful." You want to get one too. Coveting creates jobs. Leave it alone. So I'm reminded of that. The world doesn't know that it needs like an IoT connected like a toothpick. But the moment they see it, they want it. Yeah. And that's the thing. In many ways, that's exactly what I feel about the CES as well. It's incredible how quickly the cycle goes from what a ridiculous product to ostracizing people in your social circle because they don't have a toothbrush with an LCD screen on it that allows you to take Snapchats of your teeth.
I think that's a legit business idea in this day and age. Don't toss them around loosely like that, Chuck. It could be a $1 billion idea after all.
Yeah, possibly. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the stuff that is revealed at CES this year and how they could potentially change our lives.
Yeah. And first up, everyone's been drooling about an LG TV called the LG Signature OLED W7.
Yeah.
They call it the picture-in-wall television, and it's 2.57 mm thick. Let that just sink in, people. Okay, in case you're unable to visualize it, this is an advanced TV that can display images from your set-top box, DVD player, or the internet, pretty much every piece of content ever created, converting electrical signals into light of varying intensity so that you can see images with advanced Dolby sound, and it's thinner than that last nail you bit and spit out. 2.57 mm.
Yep, not centimeters, millimeters. So here's the fun. The screen is something called OLED. It's so I'll just explain this technology. So LED TVs, which is what most people have and which is what sells these days. They have a backlight, and then there are like this array of crystals in front of it, and then depending on the electric current that passes through these crystals, they like change their orientation and shit, and the backlight then passes through these crystals in that orientation and hence projects the image that we see. So the image is determined by the electric current, etc., etc. OLEDs, on the other hand, they don't have a backlight. So the crystals themselves emit light. So when currents pass through them, because of the way they are made, the crystals themselves emit light. So they're able to cut off. So this has two advantages. One, you lose an entire layer, so hence you're able to make them supremely thin. The second advantage is because light comes from individual pixels. You can shut off one pixel entirely and it gives you very blacks. On the other hand, if you're on the for LED TV, since there's a backlight, even if you shut off one pixel, there will be leaking light from the back. So it's never fully black. So the upshot of all this is OLEDs give you like superb contrast.
Okay.
Yeah. So hence overall the picture quality is like absolutely mind-blowing. And as a third advantage, it's also far more energy efficient.
Because what's the use, Chuck? People are just going to use it to watch Sasural Simarka. So, I mean, what contrast?
Philistine. There are still people who watch art movies, okay. Planet Earth 2. Imagine Planet Earth 2 in OLED, yeah. But then again, the people who can afford this are likely to watch K-serials.
Exactly.
OLEDs can run without a backlight. I mean, if the Congress can run without any ostensible leadership, then anything's possible.
Good. Chuck, I think we should crack more jokes like this. It will appease the leadership in the current time.
OLEDs can create really blacks. The only way it could be more blacks if it had a predilection for hip hop and refused to vote for Donald Trump.
Oh. But how much does this beast cost, Chuck?
So no idea actually. This particular TV, the price is not out yet. But on Amazon India, I checked for 55-inch OLED LG TV, it's 2.3 lakhs. The minor matter of 2.3 lakhs, and I see another one costing 4.9. In comparison, a 55-inch LED costs 79k, which is not cheap by itself. But
yeah, this of course is an interesting trend. TVs are becoming more relevant, but people are actually cutting cords more than ever before. TVs are basically used as giant sexy monitors for people to view content from the internet, such as Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, and if you're Indian, the Pirate Bay files from your pen drive.
Yeah. Live experiences are also quite important. As a football fan, I'm sure you'd subscribe to that. So we're going to take a little break right now, and we'll leave you to drool at some TVs on Amazon if you have the time. We'll be back with...
Please don't watch Sasural Simarka in the break.
Finding the right drink at the right place can be a big challenge. Exploring a new destination to its fullest could be a daunting task.
So tune in every Friday and listen to the Drinks and Destinations podcast with Rajita and Samira, who introduce you to the world of fine wines, beer, spirits, and travel.
You can subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Audioboom, or any other local podcast app.
And we're back. And we're talking about the CES, which was the Consumer Electronics Show. And next up is one technology that got everyone really excited, which is virtual reality. And by everyone, I mean Silicon Valley, marketing managers who have no idea what VR does, but just wanted to use a fancy word to win an award. And the 10 other people around the world who care.
Absolutely, yeah.
Virtual reality promises us an escape from our mundane surroundings and be transported to several other worlds. So imagine in the future, you could be sitting in your rotting 1 BHK in Chakala while your VR device transports you to the beautiful beaches of Bora Bora.
VR has been a big idea for a while now, never actually reaching mass acceptance, mainly because of its high cost of devices and, of course, the availability of content. Classic chicken and egg situation, really. Again, it's like a marketing manager who tells his advertising agency he wants to do something groundbreaking and never been done before. And the moment the idea is presented, ask if any brands have done it before so he can have a reference. And when he said, no, you f***ing brainless bastard, you asked for something innovative and that something's never been done before. And then he says, yes, I asked you for that, but how can I give you my opinion without having a frame of reference? And then you say, if you want a f***ing frame of reference, you idiot, then I would have given you a boring Facebook video idea or a banner ad or an email, and everyone shrugs and just does a useless Twitter hashtag that will look good on a slide to CMO who doesn't know Twitter from a toothbrush.
And that just got me to lunch today.
We really need to find another outlet apart from this podcast to take out our work frustrations.
I know, man. Yeah.
Okay.
It felt damn good. It felt really good.
Okay.
I mean, it felt so good. It felt like finding a urinal after an interstate bus ride, which had particularly high moisture content in its AC.
I think we should get back to talking about VR.
Yeah. Anyway, VR and. We are talking about VR, of course. Oh God. Last
Don't
year,
groan at your own jokes.
Shit. I'm usually used to groaning at his jokes. Okay. Sorry, again, let's do shit. Okay. Anyway, we are talking about VR.
Well done.
Last year, there were a series of interesting devices. The Oculus Rift was the first brand to make waves, and now, of course, owned by Facebook, who will no doubt find an interesting way to monetize it by actually looking at your surroundings.
There was also the Samsung Galaxy Gear, if you remember, and Google's Cardboard. So Cardboard, for those who don't remember it, was... So Google actually didn't sell a VR device, but they gave people instructions on how they can make their own using cardboard. Cardboard. And you had a lot of people who actually sold VR devices which were 100, 200, say up to $500 of making these cheap cardboard devices. All you needed to do was plonk in your phone into this cardboard device, switch on, and there were a bunch of VR apps and VR videos. And if you go on to YouTube, some videos had a 360 option, and you could put it in there. It was quite interesting.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but a cheap way to access VR.
Yeah, I mean, but Google kind of acted like a cheap Indian parent, no? Like, you don't have toys, then build yourself your own.
Build yourself.
Just ye le and ye bana de, and you can like imagine it will be damn good.
Yeah. But the one that critics decided across the board was the best was the HTC Vive. HTC, I mean, like, wow, it's just, I mean, out of nowhere.
That company still exists?
You're a massive HTC fan.
Yeah, used to be. About half a decade ago.
Just like people were fans of, say, Corporal Punish.
Yeah, I know. Remember Google Reader, Chuck, and like other...
Let's not be nostalgic for the naughties. So people look forward to updates this year, and HTC did not disappoint again. They added a bunch of accessories to make the VR experience more complete. Like an audio port, some handheld accessories like toy guns, not unlike like the guitar that comes along with Guitar Hero, something like that. So you can play first-person shooter games. And an add-on to make the Vive wireless. Otherwise, you needed to be strapped onto your computer. But what's most interesting actually is this is something called the Vive port, and this is really cool actually. So HTC's created an entire website which it's sort of like a marketplace for all things VR. And I'm guessing this is only for HTC products as of now, but they've got like games, they've got like videos and things like that. And while pricing's not out on so there are some things that are free and some things that can be bought like $400 or things, something like that. Some even cheaper, like under $100. And soon they'll be starting a subscription service so that I guess you get across the board access to all the VR content that you want. I think that's pretty interesting because I think one thing these guys have realized is hardware is not going to take off unless the content and software is there. So pretty interesting that they've taken the mantle upon both. They can actually, it may be a little far-fetched to say this, but they could actually become the Apple universe. I mean, what Apple did for apps, these guys could actually be for VR.
That is quite amazing there.
Yeah.
Continuing with the tech porn, let's talk about some mobile phones.
You might actually think, how can we actually make a mobile phone even better than what it is right now? I mean,
larger, thinner, wider, more face covering.
And in Samsung case, a little less combustible.
A little less, definitely.
Yeah. So this is actually something new every time. Just before you thought we packed every single feature possible into a cell phone, short of a windmill and personal transportation, along comes an event like CES which says, I didn't know this existed 2 minutes back. I didn't even know I needed it, but now I want it. So Asus, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Yes, Asus, yeah. They released the Zenfone 3 Zoom, which has 3 cameras.
Oh God.
Yeah, 3 cameras, and it offers, and here's the interesting part, 2.3x optical zoom. Yep. A rarity in a cell phone camera today.
Of course. I mean, right now, that's all. Like, Hubble Space Telescope version will also come out pretty soon.
But the surprise from the mobile phone category went to that brand which just refuses to die. BlackBerry. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, BlackBerry's gone from being a bit of a cult to a bit of a joke.
Quite a bit of a joke.
Quite a bit of a joke. Remember the BlackBerry boys?
Oh my God.
Yeah. When it suddenly started appearing in pink colors in the hands of college kids who still hadn't learned how to use vowels.
Or just like talk outside of emojis.
Yeah. And that wasn't when emojis were popular even.
I swear.
And that's when smartphones started taking off and BlackBerry refused to change. And then we realized now it has as much life as a beheaded 18th century soldier attending an economics lecture while being gassed with carbon monoxide.
Wow.
And just like that one icky sabji in a South Indian sadhya, everyone just ignored it. Well, but what do you know? It's back. And dare I say, this is BlackBerry's boldest move yet, actually. actually. It's something called I inadvertently slipped in a BlackBerry pun there. BlackBerry bold. Okay, inadvertently this was. See, I'm even like
wow, Jack.
Subconscious jokes. Anyway, so this one is called the Mercury, and it has a keyboard.
Oh God!
I know you're a keyboard phone enthusiast. So
again, Chuck used to be in 2011, and like everyone else, learned how to type on a smartphone screen.
Yeah, but
I think that's where you'll find the last slightly alive body of BlackBerry in 2011. Where since when this company has just been like dead and refusing to go away. It's like this one dude who like keeps on dancing even though party is like long
so
over.
It's good that they've called this a Mercury because when the solar system eventually collapses, that's the first thing that's going to get
engulfed by the sun.
Engulfed by the sun. There's an analogy in there somewhere which we haven't quite sharpened, but it's fine.
Yeah. Smartwatches, though, are another product that's taking off rapidly. And at CES, several brands use the chance to impress fitness freaks, geeks, and basically anyone who's not Swiss. Casio and Garmin made new smartwatches. Personal computers are, interestingly enough, seeming to make a comeback after everyone said tablets are going to kill them off a few years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Like, I remember everybody said tablets are going to replace this thing in offices, in school, I mean, everywhere.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is now tablet sales are pretty much stagnant. Nobody talks about them anymore as much.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's just gotten... I mean, what they have done instead is just make the phones in your hand tablets.
Tablets, pretty much, right? So anyway, coming back to desktops, or in this case, laptops actually, personal computers entirely. The latest trends are 4K screens, detachable displays, fewer ports, less weight. And apart from helping you improve your productivity, they can also help you lose a lot of weight, particularly around your wallet area. If you see the costs of some of these. Have you heard of the Razer Valorie?
No, not
so
at all.
you know Razer, the company that makes outrageously priced gaming mice, keyboards, and gaming mice mouse pads.
Yeah, I know. I saw a mouse pad worth like some $5.5 grand.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is for Akash Ambani. Like, ye apna kaam nahi hai.
So the Razer Valorie, Shrikant, tell me, I'm sure you've used a fair number of laptops.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you think the optimal number of screens that a laptop should have are? And I'm guessing you know where this is going.
Well, I functioned fairly well with one.
Yeah.
I mean, two would be like a luxury, like the extreme luxury.
Try 3.
Oh God. Of course.
This 3 tends the way to a Ravana in HD laptop. Yeah. So 3 so that you can have a more immersive gaming experience. And lightweight is not one of the features it touts, but I don't think a person who has a triple screen laptop is actually too concerned about portability.
I think the investment will be on a sturdy chair more than anything else. So
or sufficient protection around your crotch if you're actually intending to use it as a laptop.
Exactly. But you know what? Nobody actually wants to hear or see all of these things.
All these things are just a sideshow. None of this stuff really matters. Just like the fringe bands when you go to a music festival, you go there for the big boy.
I know. Like we heard at H7 last year, everyone was just there to listen to Rahman.
Hey. Okay.
But when it comes to CES these days, there's only one term that really matters. Do you know what that is, Chuck?
Shall we do it in chorus?
The Internet of Things.
Yes, indeed. Much like Donald Trump, the IoT started off as a small thing that people just assumed was a little fad, while we focus on more important things like the Symbian operating system and actual cable connections. Yes, S60 had that. But then
my dear old Nokia 6600.
Don't get nostalgic. But then it ballooned out of proportion, much like Donald Trump. And today, definitely like Donald Trump, when you see something written about it online, you laugh, pause and wonder whether it's actually real before shaking your head and wondering what this gold has got itself into.
I mean, it's actually that. The more ridiculous they sound, the more likely they are to be correct.
It is to actually be true, yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. Before we get into all things IoT, let's take a small little break, shall we, Chuck?
This is an internet-connected break. Actually, it is.
Jeez. Be right back.
Hey guys, this is Malika Singhania, co-founder of the blog Stylogram, where we cover trends, fashion forecasts, celebrity style, tips and tricks, and lots more cool stuff. So tune in every Thursday to the Stylogram podcast, your weekly style telegram, giving you the latest fashion and beauty stories that are relevant to you. You can also subscribe to our show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Audio Boom, or any other local podcast app. See you soon.
Hello there, and we are back. We are talking about the consumer electronics show that happens every year in Las Vegas, where all 5 people who actually care about CES live blog about it, live talk about it. Everybody else just laughs at the ensuing listicle.
And what we are specifically talking about is the Internet of Things.
Yeah,
basically how you can get internet into your chappal and your vada pav.
Yeah, so the Internet of Things has a lot of useful products. So before we trash the Internet of Things wholly, the IoT actually has a few useful products. Like there's a company called Netatmo, which actually creates a smart home system that can do interesting things like even regulating your airflow, control your windows and these are practical usage, Shriketh.
That sounds like Tony Stark's home in
and
Iron Man.
Want that? And who wouldn't want that, right? But let's face it, we want to know what ridiculous product has needlessly been hooked up to the web. And I'm proud to say that this year we have several answers will make you wonder whether there are people literally just crawling around their homes, magnifying glass in one hand, phone on the other hand, checking each product in their home and simultaneously checking if an IoT version of it exists.
Like, what did we see this time, Chuck?
Okay, let's look at the roster of ridiculousness. So what I've done is I've written little verses.
Of course you have.
Yeah, of course I have. It's been a light work week. See if you can guess these products, all right? Ready? Okay. When you need to know your keratin count in a rush, hey, don't worry about splitting hair ends because L'Oreal has a new...
I hate myself, but it's brush.
Airbrush, to be precise. 1 point. Ding, ding. Okay, next. Worried about your phone getting into your nuts? Now pocket your gadgets without a care. For a company called Spartan has had the balls to create radiation shielding...
Chaddis.
That doesn't rime with care.
It's underwear, Chuck.
Yes.
It's underwear.
Yes, well done. Radiation shielding underwear. IoT connected underwear.
I mean, that's all you needed, right?
Yeah,
At the moment, like knowing how sweaty your balls are.
To be fair, I don't know if they're connected to the IoT, connected to the net, but it's basically like metal tin foil for...
No, I mean, I think it's actually coming true. There ages ago when I was on Wikipedia and we used to talk on IRC, we had this, dealing with like particularly difficult users, we had this thing that we always wanted a protocol to be implemented on Wikipedia called WP electroshock user, where we said that we'll actually hook up a user's genitals with like tin foil and like send a small electric shock when we need them to desist. I think it is finally going to be possible. Like, this is the technology that we were all waiting for.
This should be hooked up to people who honk needlessly.
Seriously. Yeah. Otherwise, like, you have a quota. If you go over the quota, every
time you honk... That's fantastic. It's a great idea. Like, screw this radiation shielding from phones and all that.
Yeah,
like, we are all going to die anyway.
Anyway, like, demonetization, there should be a drive to install. Like, getting your Aadhaar card, get your chaddis.
And it's compulsory. It's mandatory. You have to, like...
Yeah, get this chaddi, otherwise you won't get money.
Correct. Moving on. Okay. What if you're lost while you're traveling? Put these on and get to malls and forts. For those too stupid to use Google Maps, we present to you Spinelli's vibrating denim.
Pants?
Clothes. What's smaller than pants? And rhymes with orts.
Shorts.
Correct.
Oh,
shorts.
God.
So this is fascinating. So this is literally for people who are too lazy to use Google Maps or too stupid. But you still have to put in directions. And you slip it into your pocket. And suppose you need to go right. The right side of the shorts, you get a little sort of like a bump.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, genuinely, this is the world for morons. Like,
correct.
Life for morons.
Correct.
Like, here, you will not be able to figure anything out.
The thing is, you still need to use Google Maps in order to tell them where you want to go. Moving on.
I swear, I mean, if these things malfunction, then like, what on earth would happen? But yeah,
okay, you're gonna love this. When you have a little man in your tummy, here's something to give your wallet a little dent. For now, Bloom Life has something to strap onto yourself while you're
pregnant.
Correct.
Oh God.
Yeah. Next, once you have that little tyke in your hands, you need to feed the little lump. This is 2017, folks. So treat your boobies to a...
I am afraid to say anything at this point.
What rhymes with ump?
I mean, what a pump a rum? What the hell? I'm not.
Breast pump.
Oh God!
Yes. The Simblified award for most ridiculous product at CES goes to IoT connected breast pump, which is exactly what you think it is. They have a legit website.
I think there is somewhere that they need to draw a line just for mercy of humanity. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there is a line that needs to be drawn, which has been crossed, and now that line is like one speck in the distance.
So now
somewhere in
that
the
we have
past.
looked at all that CES has to offer, so are you looking forward to next year's CES? Srikesh, what would you like to see? there?
I'm very frankly fearful of next year's CES. Like, I really wonder what else they can connect to the internet. Like, I'm sure there will be a company out there that will be releasing internet IoT connected air. Like, generally they'll go to an area and like, I will release this air and then monitor who is breathing it.
Who is breathing it? Every single molecule will eventually be IoT connected. It's
IoT
like
connected.
the Human Genome Project. This will be the Universal Air Project. Okay,
That sounds-
before you think that all technology is actually headed to the garbage can, which by the way is also IoT connected, it actually, like, if you throw in a carton of milk, it will automatically order it for you. So,
Oh God,
yeah.
wow.
So that happens. Imagine if you throw away like a fetus or something. I don't know. I don't know why I said that. A little bit of dark humor there. Okay.
Dark humor, just darkness throughout.
So anyway, yeah, not all technology is actually like going down this route, thankfully enough. There are companies that are making good stuff out there, like the good folks at Tesla, for instance, or anything really that Elon Musk touches. They're making some very good products to actually better mankind. There are a lot of software companies like Uber that are actually pushing the boundaries of connecting people using data. And hopefully we'll see a lot of those advancements in terms of living transportation happening in the next few years. Amazon is also doing a few things to make our shopping experiences more seamless, and so not everything is going down this route of nonsense.
I mean, in a way, which is what I was thinking the other day. It's actually kind of like a race between Elon Musk and Donald Trump about how quickly he can screw up the world and how quickly Elon Musk can save the world.
Yeah,
so it's actually like a race.
So it's
between
going to
the
be
two.
equilibrium. I think at the end of 4 years, what's going to happen is we are going to be exactly where we are.
Yeah.
It's like Obama never left.
Or basically, I think what Elon Musk's plan is going to be is like, this world is screwed.
Yeah.
So let's put everyone on a spaceship and send them to Mars.
To another world.
Yeah.
The only thing is, and I don't know how portentously we should read into this, but Mars is significantly more orange. Or maybe the plan is to just send Donald Trump over
Or
there.
maybe what happened to Mars was that they are actually a living embodiment of a post-Trump world. Like, that is what would happen. Like, Mars is exactly what happened when too much Trump happened to that world. So it just became orange and dead. On that very, very positive and
enthralling note, and in next episode we will actually be talking about the exploits of Mr. Musk, not Trump.
Yeah.
We have done enough of Trump. So yes, that was all about CES, and we will see you next time then.
yeah.
All right.
See
Thank
you there,
then.
and we will have Naren back for all those planning
miss
to
him. We miss you.
run away.
Yeah.
Please come back. Bye.
Our podcasts bring all the boys to the yard, and damn right, they're better than yours. But you don't need to stand outside in the yard. Just follow IVM Podcasts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We might be on Tinder too. Just go ahead and swipe right.